No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym.
Old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah, try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News as we get you set for the latest news, insight, and analysis as game time approaches. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Check out LithiaFordBoise.com to view the full inventory of vehicles or check them out at 8853 West Fairview in Boise. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News.
Greetings, Boise State fans, and welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise, a pregame show here on Bronco Nation News. Yes, this is taped. Keep your comments and thoughts going in the ICCU YouTube chat. Yes, I am not in Fort Collins in this video. I have landed safely, hopefully in Fort Collins by the time you are watching this, and hope to be coming on here live shortly from Mobi Arena, but starting the show out on tape to make sure we get a full show for you guys ahead of tonight's game. I traveled over this afternoon, or I'm traveling over this afternoon as I record this to Fort Collins, but excited for tonight's game. You guys can still get the chat and things going. I just can't put the comments on the screen right now, but your thoughts, your score predictions, player of the game, get all that stuff going in the ICCU YouTube chat, and we are excited to be, other than Abe and Bob on the radio side, the only local media outlet traveling to Fort Collins to cover this game tonight. So live coverage from Fort Collins is coming up momentarily as I get my computer and things set up there, so stay with us on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. But as always, we start out our shows with our man Abe Jackson, and on a game day, Abe, nice enough to carve out some time for us, as we do usually courtside, but Abe, I'll be joining you in Fort Collins shortly for the game tonight, and nice enough of you to give us a few minutes to tape the interview here. Wanted to make sure we still got the information and your thoughts and your hard-hitting takes out to the fans of Bronco Nation here before the game. So appreciate you as always, Abe, and another big one on the road tonight in Fort Collins.
Yeah, and the Broncos have done so well on the road this year in conference. So, there's not really any reason or anything that I can point to that would say that the Broncos shouldn't get a win tonight. I mean, they've seen them already. They've beat them. They've played very well on the road, kind of opposite of a lot of the other teams in the Mountain West where their losses have come on the road. The only losses for Boise State have come at home. So I'm looking forward to this. Mobi can get pretty rocking. It's a unique type of venue with the pretty vertical on the sides with the stands. So the students will be going. It should be a good environment.
What do you think? You mentioned you can't really pinpoint it, but Boise State 4-0 on the road, and I know 2 of those were against 2 of the lower teams in the conference in San Jose and Fresno. But to win at Nevada, and then what they did at the Pit, 4-0, only team that's undefeated in league play on the road right now. If you want to win a championship, obviously you've got to do that. But why do you think Boise State has been able to? Is there anything? Is it each game different? Is anything you're seeing that's combining them, or why is Boise State 4-0 on the road?
I don't really know for certain why they're 4-0 on the road. I mean, they're just playing really well right now. And if you take a look at those home games that they lost, I mean, out of all the plays in the game, there was, it really comes down to so many times just a free throw. And that's what that's what happened against Utah State, really, with the front end of 1-and-1s. And then that's what happened with UNLV, who they lost to. So, I don't know why they're playing maybe, I don't know if better on the road, but they're getting it done on the road, and they're so close at home too. And I think they're going to play well tonight. I mean, this team has so many veterans on it. They're locked in. I don't really think that you see one thing about Boise State this year, that they haven't had a bad loss, right? And I think a lot of that is because they're such a veteran team, is that you don't really have just that stinker of a game. I mean, you really don't. You might have a game that you lose, but you just don't have a garbage game. And the Broncos haven't had that this year, and I don't think they're going to have one on the road this afternoon either, or this evening either. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Hopefully they can keep this road wins going.
And I know I asked you this before the Air Force game on the pregame show, but after you go in that atmosphere at the Pit, I mean, certainly it's going to be a little bit of a tough crowd. CSU plays a lot better at home. I get all that. But once you go win in the Pit, I mean, if you're a player, right, you think you can win anywhere against anybody at any time.
Confidence is high on the road right now. It really is. You go into that place. I'd put that place up against any place in the country as a tough place to play, especially when New Mexico has a good team like they do this year. So you go in and win there, and you handle that. You handle the chance against you. Multiple guys got hit with air ball chants. It just seemed like it was raining down on them, and then they touch it next time, and then they knock down a three, and then you don't hear those chants anymore. I mean, they just handled that crowd so well at New Mexico. I think they're going to do the same in Mobi Arena tonight.
Air Force, I mean, I think we expected Boise State to come out and play well in that game on Saturday, but to win by 38, to have the second half they did. I mean, they're down 27-25. Air Force was banging in some threes, but they end the half on a 16-0 run, and then, keep the pedal down in the second half. I think it was a 50-12 run at one point. For them to win by 38 and do what they did, what stood out to you as, most impressive from the Air Force game?
Well, we've talked before, BJ, about why is one scorer scoring now and another scorer is scoring now? What'll happen if they all just kind of hit at the same time? Well, a huge win against, it was maybe the lowest team in conference, but a huge win still that helped them in the standings, and that's what happens. I mean, they have so many guys that can give you 20 or 25 points. When one of them gives you a big game and the other guys chip in from 12 to 16, like what happened, I mean, they're going to be really, really tough to beat. That's what makes this team so tough, is that you have 3-4 guys who could really give you 20 points or more each night. So you really don't know where the scoring is going to come from. And when it comes from all 4 of them, I mean, they're going to blow some people out like they did Air Force.
Yeah, I mean, and just the balance, as you said, 4 guys that on any given night could go. And it seems like Max, I mean, that's back-to-back games. We said that on the pregame show of Air Force. Let's see Max do that again. And certainly not to that extent, 35, but he was 4 for 6 from 3 again. That's now 11 threes in his last 2 games. If Max Rice is a consistent threat from the outside again, like he was for, all of last season, that totally changes things for this team.
It does. And even when he's not hitting the threes, he's still always a threat. I mean, you're going to take a defender that goes out to that 3-point line anytime that he has the ball to crowd him to take away that 3. But now that he's making them, that really does open up some things, especially for the inside guys, is because we've seen the post get doubled quite a bit in the last few games. After Fresno State did that and kind of threw the Broncos off a little bit, doubling the post and then going to that zone. But now that the threes are starting to go down, I don't know if teams are going to do that, because the bigs are getting better at passing the ball out, and now the shots are going down for the 3-point shooters. So it's going to be that's a tough combo.
And then Tyson Degenhart, again, 1 for 8 at the pit. I know he does a lot of other things to impact the game, and but wasn't his night shooting the ball. And he comes back and follows that up with a 29-point career high. What stood out to you about what Tyson did? And again, not expecting him to have 29 a game, but if he's a guy that's consistently giving you 20, which for the last 7 games, I think he's hit 20 points. Again, another dynamic piece that just makes this team really hard to beat.
It does. And what I like about Tyson is that he does not take bad shots. Bob and I were talking yesterday in the airport about it. And, we kind of agreed, we don't see Tyson take bad shots. He might miss some shots, but he doesn't take really ill-advised shots. And I think that's what makes him so tough, is that every time he catches the ball and every time he shoots it, it's in a place and it's a move that he has done 1,000 times in practice. And then you can see it pay off. I think he was 11 of 12 against in the last home game against Air Force, had 29 points. So just so consistent. When he has an off game, he's one of the guys that if he has an off game, I'm not concerned at all, because he's so mentally tough, such a good player that he's going to come back and he's just going to do what he does. That's going to be efficient, get you to double digits, 5 to 10 rebounds, and play 30-plus minutes.
Okay, first time of the Mountain West season, and again, we're visiting for a couple more minutes with Abe Jackson. You can hear him and Bob Beeler coming up at 6:30 on KBOI with the pregame show just after 7 o'clock on the Bronco Radio Network on KBOI with Bob and Abe with the game broadcast. And Abe joins us every pregame show here, and we appreciate it, Abe. But first time as the second go-around here, playing a team for the second time in conference play. What is that like for players? What is that like for coaches? Obviously, when you go to that scouting report, you're going to be a little familiar with each other, the chess match between the two coaches and staffs. What's it like playing a team for the second time?
Well, it's much more comfortable, I think, for the teams, because especially with the new guys coming into every team every year, you can see him on tape. And then when you play him for the first time, you're like, oh, okay, so that's kind of how he moves. That's his type of game. And now the second time around, you don't really have that newness to the players. You know what it's going to be like if you're a new guy guarding Isaiah Stevens. You know what it's like guarding a crazy athletic guy in Nick Clifford or the inside guy in Cartier. So teams are really who they are right now, barring any type of big injury. So you're not going to get anything, I don't think, any crazy new plays coming out. You are who you are, and you're just going to roll the balls out, and whoever can execute their plan the best is going to win.
So what do you expect to see tonight, and what are some keys for Boise State to come out with a victory?
Well, whenever you play Colorado State, the first key is Isaiah Stevens. You have to keep him in check, and it's so hard to do because he's such a good player. The Broncos did a really good job of that. I think he had 6 or 7 turnovers in the game in Boise when the Broncos beat Colorado State. So, but on the road, playing at home, people usually play better at home. So I'm expecting Isaiah Stevens to have maybe a little bit more fingerprint on this game than he did the first one. But I mean, controlling him, that's about the main thing. He's one of the best point guards in the country.
And you feel pretty good. You said you think Boise State.
I do. Yeah.
5.5-point underdogs tonight. Just the way they're playing right now. You like how they're looking coming into this game.
5.5. 5.5 is nothing. What was it? 11 at the pit.
Yeah.
That's almost like being favored now. So
they were 6-point underdogs at Nevada too.
Okay. Yeah. I like where this team is right now. I mean, I want to mention Omar Stanley too, because I think he's given the Broncos something inside that they haven't had from a big guy in years. And that is someone who can move and get to the hoop, but also finish at a high rate at the basket, and also a rim protector. The Broncos really haven't had a good shot blocker in a while, and he's becoming one of the better shot blockers in the conference. Some highlight shot blocks affecting everything that's inside. So him with the outside shots going down, it's a really good 1-2 punch of inside presence from your guys, and then also outside.
Well, we appreciate the time as always, Abe. Good luck on the call with Bob, and I'll be seeing you courtside there at Mobi Arena shortly, and appreciate your time as always, man.
All right. Thanks, BJ.
There he is, Abe Jackson. We appreciate him as always. Going to take a quick 90-second timeout here on Bronco Nation News. Again, live coverage coming up shortly from Mobi Arena. I am en route right now, and we're giving you the pregame show here, but live coverage coming shortly from Mobi Arena. We're going to take a quick 90-second timeout, and our friend Kevin Lytle from the Fort Collins, Colorado, and going to join us. We'll get the Colorado State perspective. We'll hear from Leon Rice, and as I said, hopefully we'll rejoin the show live from Mobi Arena here in just a little bit. Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. We're in the Cutwater Studios. Going to be a fun one at Mobi Arena. Boise State, Colorado State, a lot on the line for both teams. We're back here in 90 seconds on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of premix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. Back here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show, getting you set for Boise State and Colorado State, a big one at Mobi Arena. I hope to join you guys live from Mobi Arena on this broadcast here in just a little bit, and making my way after the late afternoon flight. As I told you guys earlier, we're taking some of the sponsors on this trip, so some of the BNN supporters, Travis Hawks, Matt Bauscher, Stan Nicolason, Shelby Lindley. So weighing work night with taking care of some of the sponsors, and so we flew over this afternoon, and we'll be hopefully joining you guys shortly from Mobi Arena. Hope to be joining this guy shortly from Mobi Arena. Our friend Kevin Lytle does a great job covering Colorado State for the Colorado in there in Fort Collins. We missed you. You didn't make the trip to Boise. I guess it wasn't a big enough game for you, but we'll be there here shortly at Mobi Arena. I know you, and looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun game, man, and appreciate you for joining us here. How's it going?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Good to see you, BJ. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going great, man. And did miss you over in Boise, but we'll see you tonight, and we'll see you at the conference tournament as well. But what's just the big picture, 40,000-foot view of this game, in your opinion, and from the Colorado State perspective in particular?
Yeah, obviously for Colorado State, there's kind of that wobble in January, partially that Boise State, Utah State trip where CSU lost both. They had the wild kind of meltdown in Laramie against Wyoming, but then CSU's rebounded pretty well from that, beat San Diego State at home last week and then won at Fresno. For CSU, this game, it's pretty clear that if CSU wants to get back in the Mountain West title race, you have to beat Boise State tonight, do that. And I think the Rams are at least back in that conversation. Losing, that's a 3-game gap, between CSU and Boise, and that's probably not, make upable, if you will. So yeah, that's CSU. I think fans are more confident now than a week ago after kind of a string of losses, and CSU's been playing well at home. That's kind of been the the cushion, which they're not alone in that. And that's kind of college basketball right now. It's crazy how hard it is to win on the road. But obviously Boise is a team that's done that at a pretty high level, really high level at the Pit last week. So I think, the CSU fan base is pretty excited for this, kind of feeling more optimistic now again as the team has sort of regained its footing.
I saw it's a whiteout. I did see some seats available, though. What's the attendance looking like or expected to be tonight?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be sold out. The students have been showing up in force. So honestly, whenever there are some unsold tickets, they're usually able to just fill them with more students that want in. So I would expect it'll probably get to a sellout, probably with another huge student crowd. They forget which game it was, maybe UNLV a couple weeks ago. They set a program record for most students in attendance at like 4,000, something like that.
Wow.
So I expect a pretty big student crowd. And yeah, it'll, I imagine, sold out or really close to it.
Yeah, the white out there in Mobi Arena, that's always fun. Again, Colorado State 17-5. They're 5-4, as you said, in the Mountain West, 2 games back. But as you said, a loss, then you throw in tiebreakers and things. I mean, they'd be, 4 games back at Boise State if you throw in the tiebreaker if Boise State were to win tonight. What's the talk been of the first Boise State game? That was a really tough road trip for them, obviously going back-to-back after the Utah State game, as you said. But any talk about what they didn't do well in that game and what they're hoping to fix, here in this one?
Yeah, I think, first off, obviously, CSU didn't start that game very well. The offense was bad pretty much the whole first half. Obviously, Boise State has something to do with that. CSU looked pretty lethargic. They looked like a team that had been on the road for 7 days, I think, or maybe it's 6 days. They've been on the road a long time and didn't play well. I think there's, even some sickness going through the team. They just didn't play well. They, admitted that. Too many turnovers, just sloppy possessions. Boise State's defense is so good that you can't just give away possessions. They're too valuable. Another thing for CSU is always the glass. They're a little undersized. Obviously, Boise State has some strength in there, so that's always going to be a key thing. But this time of year, everyone knows everyone. Medved and Rice have been going against each other for it seems like 100 years. They all know what they're doing. They've seen each other. There aren't going to be any secrets. It's kind of just execution. And, big thing, one of the home road differences is a lot of times those role players play a little better at home. CSU didn't get much from those guys up in Boise, whereas, a guy like Meadows, for instance, hit a couple threes for Boise. CSU is going to need, like a Joe Palmer, Jalen Lake, one of those guys come off the bench to provide a little contribution because the starters have actually been really good. Early this season, depth was kind of CSU's calling card. And really over the last couple of weeks, it's been almost the opposite. The starting 5 have been phenomenal. And then after that, it's, kind of been shaky ground.
How you feeling about this game, Boise State fans? Get your thoughts in the ICCU YouTube chat there, your score predictions, your Boucher real estate player of the game, and hope you guys are chatting in there as we continue along here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. I'm with Kevin Lytle. He's with the Fort Collins, Colorado, and for a couple more minutes here as we get you set for Boise State and Colorado State. Everybody talks about him, and rightfully so, but what Isaiah Stevens has done in his career, and again this season, he's just having a heck of a year, but he didn't have the greatest game over in Boise earlier this season. He only had 3 assists, and I think he had a season-high 6 turnovers. Did have 15 points, but what do you make of him? I know he's still almost 17 points a game. He's over 7 assists a game. He's having a heck of a year, but Boise did a decent job of flustering him a little bit with the turnovers and things, and how do you look at Isaiah Stevens coming into this one?
Yeah, he's absolutely key. I mean, he's had just kind of a couple off games this year, and they've led to CSU losses. It's very hard for CSU to win if Stevens isn't solid. They don't need him to be a 25-point guy or anything. A lot of times his best nights are 12 points and 9 assists, that type of night. But yeah, CSU is going to need him, protect the ball, create scoring opportunities, and just set the pace. Boise State, I think their defense does a really good job of kind of making teams play how they want to play. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to who wins that, kind of dictating the flow of the game. And Stevens has a big role in that. So yeah, he'll, he's one of those guys. He'll remember that Boise game and be pretty motivated to be better tonight. Obviously that's no guarantee that will happen, but he is, absolutely the starting, not to use the term, but point for everything CSU does. They need him to be good. And when he is good, they're pretty hard to beat.
What do you make of this series over the years? Boise State, Colorado State have had some epic games. They had going all the way back to the shot clock issue there at CSU back in 2013, 2014, whenever that was. And then you had the Super Bowl Sunday fiasco where Randy McCall messed up the play there. There's been a lot of crazy finishes, great games, but I was surprised. I looked this up. I mean, Boise State has won 5 of the last 7 games in Mobi Arena. They've actually come over there and played pretty well for the most part of late. What do you make of this? Always been a lot of competitive, close games, and I think nothing less should be expected tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It does seem to be really good games. Pretty much, I would have to go back and look, but very rarely is it lopsided. Really competitive, like you say, a lot of times kind of late, drama coming down to the final minutes. It's kind of funny, a couple of years ago when Boise State won the league, but CSU swept them. But then, like you say, Boise's won at Mobi a lot. So they both have like these weird sort of, feathers in their cap, if you will, in the series that, don't necessarily line up with what you might assume based on those seasons or whatever. I expect another really good game. I think both these teams will be in the NCAA tournament. There's every chance that both of them are playing, toward the weekend in Vegas here in March. I wouldn't be shocked for a third matchup coming up in Vegas. So it should be a really fun one. I would be stunned if this is, decided before the final 5 minutes.
What are the ways that folks can check you out on social media and read your work at the Coloradoan?
Yeah, I'm at Kevin_Lytle. That's Lytle on Twitter, and Coloradoan.com is our website if you're looking for any CSU side angled stories.
Great Mountain West coverage, and does a great job covering Colorado State. So hopefully folks will follow him on Twitter. Not a bad dude to hang out with on 6th Street in downtown Boise either. We've had some fun.
I was bummed to not make the Boise trip. A confluence of events kept me from making that one, but always a fun one. And then no football trip this year coming year either, because that got shuffled around with the Washington State, Oregon State edition.
That's right. That's right. That's crazy. Well, we appreciate your time, man, and I'll be seeing you shortly there at Mobi Arena. And thanks for jumping on and recording this with us. And it should be a fun one tonight, and looking forward to getting over to Fort Collins and seeing it tonight. So thanks a lot, man. We'll see you soon.
You bet.
There he is, Kevin Lytle. Again, check out his work at the Coloradoan.com. Does a great job covering the Mountain West and covering Colorado State, and we appreciate him for jumping on the show here. We're going to hear from Leon Rice here shortly as well. And if you're just joining us, I hope to be jumping in live here shortly. I'm recording this because I had to make a late afternoon trip over to the arena today. I didn't get there as early as I would have liked. Just some circumstances of flying over with a nice sponsor and Boise State booster that had a couple extra seats on their plane today. So we're getting to Fort Collins right before the game. So wanted to make sure we still got you a full pregame show. So this portion of the show is taped, but at any point here, I could be popping on live once I'm set up and ready to go. So appreciate you guys for sticking with us and hoping to jump on live and have some reaction or some pregame thoughts and view of warmups here from Mobi Arena shortly as Boise State gets set to face Colorado State. But do want to thank a couple more of our sponsors here that are making this possible. And certainly we couldn't be doing Bronco Nation news without our friends at Lithia Ford of Boise, the title sponsor of our pregame and postgame shows. Winter is here. The slopes are calling, and Lithia Ford of Boise is loaded with snow-ready vehicles dialed in to get you to your winter adventure destination. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're here to get you there. Visit us today or shop online at lithiafordboise.com, where Ford begins in Idaho. We appreciate Lithia Ford of Boise. We also appreciate Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. Stan Nicolason, he is on the jet with us in Fort Collins, going to be sitting behind the bench. SON Management, excited and thankful for them. We're giving away some Taco Bell gift cards as part of some of our contests and things, and they're hiring. So the food's great. They support Boise State and donate a lot of money to help them out, but they also are hiring, and they'll give you half your wages the very next day after your shift. So check them out, TacoBellWorks.com for more information. We appreciate Taco Bell. Speaking of being on the private jet, making the trip, Travis Hawks also is in Fort Collins, the blueandorangestore.com. Check them out. All your Boise State gear, flags, bumper stickers, golf balls, shirts, hats, sweatshirts, jackets, you name it, they've got it at the blueandorangestore.com, a full store dedicated to nothing but Boise State apparel. It's right there in the Boise Town Square Mall. And if you are not in the Boise area, you can go online, theblueandorangestore.com. They offer free shipping for any order over $40. And we're very appreciative and thankful to the blueandorangestore.com. And transportation compliance service, if you've thought about getting into the trucking industry, they're hiring. Check them out, transcomservice.com. I guess they're not technically hiring, but they're helping you get hired to get out on the open road and start driving that big load in no time. So transcomservice.com, they help with all the permits and things you need to get signed up to get out there working as a trucker. And so if you're looking to get into the industry and need help with the paperwork and the permits and all that, let them take care of it for you. Like 75% of folks that try to do it themselves end up going out of business. So transcomservice.com, 866-813-7620. And we appreciate them and their support of Bronco Nation News. And check out BroncoBrew.coffee. BroncoBrew.coffee. You're helping Boise State University athletics with every sip. It's not roasted until you order it. My wife had hers in 24 hours at our doorstep after ordering it online, and it's awesome coffee, and a couple bucks goes directly to the NIL fund at Boise State. So you're helping Boise State. You're having good coffee in the process, and we hope that you will check out our friends at Bronco Brew coffee. Again, if you just joined us late here, we are taping this portion of the show. Hope to jump on live here momentarily from Mobi Arena, but traveling down this afternoon and wanted to make sure we gave you guys a show here. So check out all of our great sponsors. Check out that chat over there, the ICCU YouTube chat. I can't put your comments on the screen, but you guys can keep talking and can continue to keep the pregame conversation going. I'm sure you're getting a little nervous as we get a little closer to game time here. But appreciate all you guys. We're about 30 minutes till game time, and excited to be here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Let's hear from Leon Rice. Leon Rice talked yesterday. I got a couple of bites I want to play. He talked about Mobi Arena. Going on the road, the challenge of Mobi Arena. They are 11-1 at home this season. They're 4-0 at home in the Mountain West. Leon Rice talking about the challenges of playing at Mobi Arena tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy because you just got done talking about the last place we played at as one of the best in the country. And then, 5 or 6 days later, you're at, well, this place is the best. I mean, they really are. And until, I think Bausch said something about that. Like, yeah, you hear me talk about it, but when you go experience it, you're like, oh, wow. It blows you away. And, that's, in the old days, I mean, people wouldn't go with us and see these things, and they had no idea what, when you'd win one, we'd be like, wow, that was a big deal. That was a good accomplishment. And people are like, oh, yeah, that was nice. No, it's hard to win a road game. And when you look at people's numbers on the road, there's a reason they are what they are. And, as far as wins and losses and those other things. And it's like I've always said, it's one of the toughest conferences in the country to play on the road because we have factors that other people don't have.
And again, tonight, Mobi Arena going to be a tough one for Boise State. It's a whiteout at Mobi Arena tonight. The crowd is going to be electric and filing in. It's going to be close to a sellout. And, Boise State could really use a break. I mean, they've played 9 consecutive games where they've had 3 days or less of rest. They had their first bye week before conference play. They were kind of had the unlucky first bye. So they had their first bye before they even started conference play, which means 18 games, only 1 bye in the middle of that. And they've played 9 games already. They've got 2 to go before they get the bye next week. This is their third, this will be their second and third road games in the last 4. They got 3 out of 4 on the road here. This will be their third game in 7 days tonight. You wonder about fatigue being a factor. Luckily, they got those guys a little bit of rest in the Air Force game, but fatigue certainly at elevation again tonight in Fort Collins. You just wonder if fatigue is going to be an issue. And I asked Leon Rice about the bye week coming up next week and how they're feeling, strength-wise and health-wise, and whether or not fatigue is a factor. And I asked how the guys were doing going into the game.
Yeah, I think they're doing great because they know what's coming, that we do have a bye coming, and we're not, we'll give them some days off then. And, but yeah, if that's where the bye feels like it's coming at a great time to, keep our eyes and keep our focus not on 5 more weeks, but on, okay, we got some time after this, but not now. We don't have the time now, so let's get our minds right, and then our bodies will follow. And I think that's our mindset.
Again, they just got to keep pushing here. You can't, as you said, how we doing, Boise State fans? Welcome in live here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. I have made it to Mobi Arena. We're cutting into the broadcast here because we are here and ready to go. So how we doing? Get your score predictions in, your comments, your thoughts. We have made it to Mobi Arena. There's the live look. The team's warming up on the court. We have made it. Mobi Arena, a whiteout tonight for Boise State and Colorado State. Took the private jet over here, and we are live. So how we doing, Boise State fans? Get your comments in. Let's go. Yeah, Dylan, we are here. We are ready to go. I just interrupted myself. Yeah, that is true. So, we are here. We recorded the show in case we couldn't make it in time, but we have made it. The private jet has arrived safely. You've got Travis Hawks and Matt Bauscher and Stan Nicolason and Shelby Lindley and a lot of our great sponsors from Bronco Nation News. Here in the crowd right behind the bench, we're excited about this one. And now you see a live look at Mobi Arena. It's a whiteout tonight. You see the students all wearing white behind the bench. Get your score predictions in, your thoughts here on the ICCU YouTube chat. Dylan Sam says, how was the flight? Actually, pretty smooth. It was a nice flight, about an hour and 20 minutes. The only problem is the Loveland Fort Collins Airport is about 20 minutes away from Fort Collins, so it took us a little while to get over here, but we have landed, we are here, and we are ready to go for Boise State basketball against Colorado State. A big one tonight. 22 minutes until tip-off on the clock. We'll take your the light-up uterus. It's the uterus at the other stop. Let's see if I can turn the camera here. It's at the other end. There it is right there. There you go. I know folks always love seeing that when you come here to Colorado State. It's right there at the other end. It is what it is. I know Colorado State wasn't thinking about it when they put it in, but there it is. So you can all see it. Yep, there it is. We can all laugh about it. And but by the way, over there by the bench, there's all my sponsors. There's Stan Nicolason from Taco Bell. We got Shelby Lindley, ICCU, Matt Bauscher Real Estate. We got all of our sponsors. Mark Ridley, Ridley's Family Markets. Travis Hawks, the Blue and Orange Store. It's kind of a BNN sponsor trip tonight. We brought a lot of our sponsors tonight. They're right there behind the bench. You see them over there sitting, so going to be fun here tonight. And you see the crowd filing in to Mobi Arena. The big question tonight, as Chev Daddy says, is does Max stay hot tonight? And that is certainly the question. Can Max Rice stay hot tonight for a Boise State? So 21 minutes on the clock. You see the crowd filing in. We are going to have a abbreviated post-game show. We will be live. We'll have Leon Rice. We'll have a player or two, but it'll be a shorter show than usual. Make sure you're ready to go the second this game ends because we'll be live right when the game ends with our post-game show. But rode over here on the private jet with some great sponsors, and I'm not sure if I should say this or not, but Jeremiah Dickey and Cody Gogler. Jeremiah Dickey in the house. He rode over on the plane with us, so the Boise State Athletic Director is here. He is right behind the Boise State bench, and your AD is in the house tonight along with Cody Gogler. He rode over on the flight with us. We are super excited about this one here, and I think that's pretty cool that the Athletic Director, Jeremiah Dickey, wanted to come over here and check out the game. You've got Cody Gogler from the Athletic Department here as well. And I'm not sure if I should say that or not, but yeah, they rode over on the airplane with us and had a good conversation with them. You got Matt Bauscher, Travis Hawks, Stan Nicolason, Shelby Lindley. Some of the biggest boosters at Boise State are all here sitting right behind the bench, and they're going to be making some noise for Boise State. I see them all in the front row right there. This is going to be a lot of fun, and super excited and looking forward to this one tonight. Boise State, Colorado State, the Rams 11-1 at home this year. They are 4-0 in the Mountain West at home this year as well. So we appreciate you guys for checking us out here. Do you have a rundown on the refs? Yes, I actually do have a rundown on the refs. The lead ref tonight is, I saw the list earlier. Now I'm forgetting about it. Michael Greenstein, solid ref, Michael Greenstein. But I will say this, one of the officials tonight is one of the officials from the Utah State game. He did the St. Mary's game last night or on Saturday night. He is the former BYU baseball coach. Mike Littlewood is one of the officials tonight in this game. So be prepared for that. Mike Littlewood, the former BYU baseball coach, did the St. Mary's Gonzaga game the other day. And now he is here in Fort Collins for this one. So overall, I think it's an average crew for a Tuesday night. I think Michael Greenstein is a solid lead official for this one. He's over there to the right shaking hands at the scorers table with the scorers. But Brooks Wells, the other official, Brooks Wells, number 13 at KenPom, the 13th-ranked KenPom official, Brooks Wells. You see him on the far left there. He does a lot of Big 12, Big 10 games. Brooks Wells, he officiated the Boise State, Fresno State game earlier this year. But you got Brooks Wells, you got Michael Greenstein, and then you got Mike Littlewood, the former BYU baseball coach. So I would say solid crew tonight. Not great, not terrible. Solid crew tonight for Boise State. We got Chris saying, got to get aggressive from the get-go tonight. Certainly would like to see Boise State, Tyson Degenhardt in particular, be aggressive. You see the crowd. It's going to be a whiteout tonight. Boise State for the third straight game going with the black uniforms tonight. Black uniforms for Boise State. They wore them on the road at New Mexico. Wore them for Air Force. Why not? Going to wear them tonight again against the Colorado State Rams. Big 10, Big 12 refs seem to let physical play happen. I'm going to triple check that while we're here, by the way. But Brooks Wells, I believe, is one of the higher ranked officials in the country. So I think that's a good get for Boise State tonight. We'll go to our ref rankings. Brooks Wells comes in at number 12. Number 12, last night he was in New Orleans, Louisiana, doing New Orleans against Houston Christian. So got to get the game on a Monday, and Brooks Wells got one. New Orleans and Houston Christian last night. He makes the way to Fort Collins tonight. And so Brooks Wells, the number 12 ranked official at KenPom. You got to feel pretty good about that if you're Boise State reffing this game tonight. You got, as I said, Mike Littlewood, number 77, I believe, at KenPom, the former BYU baseball coach. And then you've got Michael Greenstein comes in number 47. He did the Utah-Colorado game on Saturday. He's number 47. So 3 of the top 80 officials in the country. I think you got to feel pretty good about that if you're Boise State fans for the game tonight. We made it, though. We made it, Boise State fans. We were on the private jet. We had Stan Nicolason, our Taco Bell representative, Matt Bauscher from Bauscher Real Estate, Travis Hawks from the Blue and Orange store, Mark Ridley, Ridley's Family Markets, Shelby Lindley from ICCU, Idaho Central Credit Union. So this was a B&N sponsor trip. We brought a lot of sponsors on this one on the private jet, the B&N jet. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out on the pregame show. It's going to be an abbreviated postgame show. As I said, it'll be a little shorter than usual. We got to get back to the airport and fly out tonight, but we will have Leon Rice. We will have a player or two on the postgame show. You see the crowd filing in. The way this arena is set up, most of the seating is all on the sides. I'll turn the arena here. All of the seating is on the sides. As you see, the seating goes way up on the sides, but not much behind the basket. So a lot of seating on the sides. And I don't know if this game's going to sell out or not. When I looked online, there was a lot of seats left up in the top areas. But you see the court right there. Clemson up by 5, Sam says. 7 minutes left over UNC. That'd be a nice game for Boise State. How are they looking during warm-ups? All right, let's take a look here. They're wearing the black uniforms. I just saw Roddy Anderson swish a 3, so I guess they're going to win by 10, right? That says it all, right? So you see Cade Rice, Roddy Anderson coming off the court here. David Wacker, I see David Wacker in the house, former Boise State center, now a part of the Colorado State family. I believe his wife works there. I don't remember the exact connection, but again, you see some of the Boise State fans over there behind the bench. Travis Hawks, Matt Bauscher, Mark Ridley, his son Hayden. We got Stan Nicolason. It was an awesome flight. Great flight over. Had a good time catching up with everybody. As I said, we had we weren't expecting it, but Cody Gogler and Jeremiah Dickey joined us at the last minute. It was fun to talk to those guys on the flight as well. So you're going to have at least a couple Boise State fans there behind the bench. So looking forward to hearing from them. You see Jeremiah over there behind the bench talking to Nate Lowry, the sports information director. Boise State has retreated into the locker room. The Broncos getting set. 14 minutes on the clock. Such a huge game, by the way. Boise State, I know I said it earlier in the recorded part of the show, but Boise State trying to we'll switch it there. Boise State 4-0 in Mountain West play, trying to stay 5-0 in conference play on the road. Trying to stay, you got 2 games this week. You're here tonight. You're at Utah State on Saturday. Maybe the toughest week of any team in the conference. At Colorado State, at Utah State. Tough week ahead for the Broncos, but if they can just win one of the 2 games, you would feel so good about Boise State's chances moving forward, and certainly this would be the nice one to have to get that first one going forward. We appreciate Alexandra Lambert for watching as 80-74 Boise State. Jumpin' Jan says, here we go. Let's go. Big lead. Get some bench players, some action tonight. Chase says, who is going off in your opinion tonight? Let's go Buzo. It's been Tyson. It's been Max. Let's go Buzo. Is this the Buzo game where he has 25 points? That wouldn't really shock me tonight. I agree. Alexander with Buzo. Ben's got 77-66 for Boise State. Hunter says, how am I feeling about this one? I actually oddly feel pretty good. I don't know if that was just the fun flight over. or what, but I actually feel fairly good about this one. You need to win one of the two, and we saw what Boise State just did against Air Force. We saw their game at the Pit a couple of days ago. I mean, you got to feel pretty good if you're a Boise State fan about how this team is playing right now. They are just rolling on all cylinders, and as we said, it's going to be a big crowd, probably not a sellout, quite a sellout crowd. Chase has 76-68 for Boise State. Hunter says after the Pit, I'm never in doubt. Sam says Road Warriors. I kind of agree with you guys. I mean, once you win at the Pit, you can win anywhere, right? So we got the national anthem coming up shortly. We'll keep this going. Why not? There's David Wacker. You guys see him out there on the left side of that, holding the ball. He just passed it behind his back. There's David Wacker walking baseline, shaking hands with some of the Colorado State players. I believe his wife works for Colorado State, or maybe he does now, but David Wacker wearing a Colorado State polo, the former Boise State center. I'm not sure how that sits with a lot of folks. He comes over here talking to Matt Bowsher. You see him over there. There's Matt Bowsher talking to him. They're hugging over there on the bench, if you can see that. There's Travis Hawks, Stan Nicolason. They're all talking to David Wacker over there on the sidelines. And again, he's wearing a Colorado State polo, but the former Boise State center. And for those of you asking, yes, there it is. There's the Colorado State, whatever you want to call it. Their logo, their thing, whatever you want to think it compares to. It's right there in the student section behind the basket, so you can see it right there. So there you see the section. The students are the crowd is filing in. We're only 11 minutes till tip-off, so they're all over there in the FNBO loft having some beverages. That's a cool little area where they've got some beverages and things behind the basket, so I'm sure they're over there having some beverages and hanging out, and they're going to make their way over to their seats here in the near future. But appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us with your subscriptions, for watching the show. 166 of you watching this right now. We super appreciative and thank you. And sorry we couldn't be live from the start, but made it over here, and we're happy to be here in Fort Collins. Going to have a short post-game show as well, and then we'll fly back to Boise tonight and be ready for, I almost said Andy Avila, Spencer Danielson's 11 a.m. press conference tomorrow. Hope to get back in Boise before midnight tonight and then be over there at 11 a.m. for Spencer Danielson's press conference. But we'll have a 9 a.m. show. John Mallory, 9 a.m., Bronco Nation News Live, as we break down this game tonight and give you our thoughts. We'll have a short post-game show, so we will have a little longer show tomorrow to kind of break down the game. No more Cutwaters. Not sure who she's referencing there. Let's get the W tonight. Omar Stanley, Buzo going off tonight. Sam, appreciate you. Yeah, we made it here. We're ready to go. Melinda, appreciate you as well. We got 9 minutes on the clock. Boise State, Colorado State, a big one here in Fort Collins. And you see the arena starting to fill in a little bit. Omar is due for another big game. I think Boise State could have some success inside. Patrick Cartier, I mean, Colorado State's not the biggest team on the interior. So obviously you have to stop Isaiah Stevens, but might be a chance for Boise State to have a little success on the interior. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Boise State's 6-point win. Kareem the Dream. Hunter has a 5-point win, but he won't be shocked with 82-68, a 14-point win. Wow, wouldn't that be something for Boise State? So we are going to have Leon Rice. We are going to have a player or two on the post-game show. So we appreciate you guys for checking us out. We appreciate it, and thank you. Please go subscribe to BNN if you can. BNN 50 deal is the promo code, and we would love to have you sign up for a year subscription to BNN. Kareem says 74-68. Brad Todd 79-61. So we appreciate all you guys for checking us out, watching the game tonight. And again, huge shout out to our sponsors. So thankful we were able to bring some sponsors on this trip. Mark Ridley, Ridley's Family Markets, as I said. Stan Nicolason from Taco Bell. Travis Hawks from the Blue and Orange Store. Matt Bowsher, Bowsher Real Estate. A lot of our sponsors and supporters are here tonight, and we're super grateful. You can see them right behind the bench over there in the front row. There's going to be a big Boise State contingent right there behind the bench in the front row, and we appreciate all of our sponsors and supporters for helping us out tonight and coming, and we want to thank them for their support of BNN. Gretchen's birthday. Happy birthday, Gretchen. We appreciate you for being a fan of Boise State and Bronco Nation News. Gretchen, happy birthday. So, yes, we were wishing Gretchen a happy birthday, and thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Definitely, Chev Daddy, happy to give a birthday shout-out to Gretchen. Tell Mark Ridley, curious about sponsorship. Brad, send me an email if you want to ride on the private jet, hang out with us here, and be a part of the Bronco Nation News community. Rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Just send an email, rains@BroncoNationNews.com. We would love to reach out and talk to you, Brad, about possible sponsorship opportunities. 7 minutes on the clock. As you see, Boise State getting set to face Colorado State. Going to be a big one here. The Broncos and the Rams. We got to get off the air here before we hit our contractually obligated issues with the sponsorship things. At 15 minutes before tip-off, we're supposed to be off. So the seating capacity is about 8,500. I don't think they're going to get there tonight. As you can see, they're pretty open way up there at the top. You can see the open seats right there. We're only 6 minutes on the clock, so it's not going to be full tonight. But should be a good crowd. They're all wearing white, and appreciate it. Sam says, catch you right after the game. Yes, we'll be back with the post-game show. Leon Rice, a couple players. As soon as the game ends, flip over to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Bronco Nation News will be live on the Lithia Ford of Boise post-game shows. Love the Ridley stores. They are awesome. Yes, Gerald, I agree. Thank you to the Ridleys, one of our great sponsors. Check them out, shopridleys.com. They do a great job, and we really appreciate them. We got to get off due to some rules here for the Mountain West. Enjoy the game. Happy to be here in Fort Collins, and we'll talk to you after the game on the post-game show. Make sure you subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com, to read all my articles. You can follow me on Twitter at BJ Rains, at BNN Bronco Nation. Full coverage during the game on Twitter. And then we'll talk to you after the game on the post-game show. Be ready to join us here on Bronco Nation News. Tip-off coming in 6 minutes over on the Mountain West Network. We'll talk to you afterwards. Appreciate you guys. Bronco Nation News. Appreciate you. Big one. Boise State, Colorado State coming up here in 6 minutes from Mobi Arena in Fort Collins. We'll talk to you soon. Bronco Nation News live here at BroncoNationNews.com.